weapon that has been used. We have got the picture of the weapon. The police estimate the range of these rockets was above 3 kilometers. Police estimates the range of these rockets was more than 3 kilometers.
एकदम बहुत जोरदार से ब्लास्ट हुआ था। वो वही टाइम में बाहर भाग के निकले थे तो मैं यहाँ धुआं उठने लग गया था। मैं सोचा ये कहाँ फट गया बम, ऐसे करके मैं घर के पीछे साइड में आया तो फिर इधर ये ब्लास्ट किया हुआ मेरे को नजर आया। तब तक मैं जो घर के जो बच्चे वगैरह, जो बहन, जो भाई है, आवाज़ देख के मेरे को बुलाया था, भाई उठो ये मेरे हमारे घर में बम फट गया। ऐसे करके मैं इतना सा उसी टाइम में देखा।
Fortunately, there were no injuries reported from the attack, but the fact of the matter is this sort of a missile was used. And the fact of the matter is that if the missiles are being used in Manipur, even if it's a makeshift missile which is landing in the areas, and this is the visual. Let me show you that visual. This is the visual. This is the visual. Imagine that they have launched a missile. It's a missile attack they have done, Brijesh. It's a missile attack they have done. It's like people have makeshift missiles, makeshift drones. It's a clear case of missile.
Absolutely.
Imagine they have launched a missile.
I think, this visual is clearly pointing at the fact that they are changing the spectre of war or theatre of war almost every other day. Till now you have seen that people ambushing, taking sniper shot, or violence going on from both sides, or a mob attacks a particular house or police station, or hold people for ransom. First came the drone and then comes the missile attack. I think it's going to increasingly make the task of both the police as well as central police force very, very difficult.
But then, Brijesh, missile, from drones to missile, I'm stunned. Someone has made a makeshift missile.
Well, I think, if you remember, our reporter had gone there to Manipur to cover the theatre of violence, and when he came out, there were several handmade weaponry which was usually not thinkable. I think, with drone and missiles, I think, you cannot rule out the help from across the border, which is helping them, that even if you don't have the wherewithal, you can still make up, crude but effective, at least effective enough to send a deadly message.
But then, this is also telling us that the violence between two communities have escalated. What is your opinion? Why has this violence escalated?
Karthikeya, I've been saying right from day one, whenever there would be a lull in violence, people would rush to say that a peace has returned, or at least normalcy is returning and all. I never believed that for a second, because every other, fortnight, 7 days, 10 days, the peace or the so-called lull in violence was brutally shattered by another round of attack which would further inflame the situation. I think what has happened in the last 1 week is, if I may say so, what they have done is that they have taken it to another level altogether. With the usage of drone to drop bombs and all, and to use of missiles, from or rocket from one end to other side, carrying distance of 3 to 5 kilometers. I think they have upped the ante, if I may say so, in the last 1 week, and the weaponry which was used in violence till now, there's a complete shift from that.
Absolutely. This is the big story that is breaking, and in this big story, we are also telling you that the schools will be closed.
Yeah.
Now I am going to break the other part. The schools will be closed in Manipur. Schools will be closed in Manipur, and let me read this. The government of Manipur, the schools will be closed. The government of Manipur says, in the view of the unrest in the prevailing situation in the state and keeping in mind the safety of the students and teachers, all government schools, government, private and central schools of the state will stay closed on 7th of September. All zonal education officers under the Department of the Education schools Manipur are hereby directed to inform all concerned under their jurisdiction to take up necessary action. This is issued with the approval of the government, Director of Education Manipur. All schools closed. All schools closed. All schools closed, and now you have a missile attack.
See, Karthik,
you had a drone attack, you had a missile attack. Yes,
if
Brajesh.
you remember, we've been covering it right from day one and much before the violence started. The fact of the matter is that when the schools opened for the first time in Manipur after a great deal of violence, we saw it as one of the first signs of normalcy returning to the state of Manipur. Now it is going back to that old situation where the attack, the intensity of the attack, the kind of weaponry which is being used, and forcing the government to go on back foot. I think the claim of Chief Minister N. Biren Singh saying that peace will return in 6 months sounds very, very hollow right now.
I mean to say, but how can you have a missile attack? I mean, so this is unbelievable. This is the missile, and let me put this is the missile attack in Manipur. This is the missile attack that has taken place in Manipur. Now people will say that the foreign fighters are there. It clearly indicates foreign fighters.
I'm saying it's very, very clear that with this kind of it's a handmade, it's like country made, if I may use the term, which is used for pistols and all.
Boss, you have country made pistols. You have country made pistols. But you have country made Sutli bomb. I have never seen in my life a country made missile. I mean to say, country made Sutli bomb hota hai, country made pistol hoti hai, country made katta hota hai. मैंने लाइफ में पहली बार कंट्री मेड मिसाइल देखी है.
It's very clear that the technical know-how of how to make up, with the lesser amount of expertise which is required, how to make an effective missile is definitely, has its imprints planted on the way they have used drones, the way this missile attacks are being launched. It's a very clear reminder of the fact that the kind of technical assistance which is coming from across the border, there is no denying the fact.
Okay, let me play out the bite. Someone is, we need to play out the bite to give the detailing on the missile attack. It's a country-made missile that has been fired. I mean to say, now real action needs to be taken. The forces need to go into hills and get these militants.
The escalation of Kuki aggression has increased double-fold again. Over the past few days, there were certain incidents of drone bombing happening in several parts of Imphal West areas, killing many people and injuring several others. And today again, right from early morning, there were two missile attacks which is being shot from a very long range of around 7 kilometers apart from the actual spot of blasting the missile. And this has been considered as one of the most deadly attack carried out by the Chinkuki narco terrorist groups who were taking shelters in the surrounding periphery hill areas of the Moirang and Bishnupur district area, and this has hit on the one of the very important, significant homestead land of first Chief Ministers of Manipur, Sri Moirang Koireng, and his statue as well as his property has been destroyed with the splinters from the projectile. And this is not a very ordinary attack carried out, because the missile has traveled not less than 7 kilometers from the hills, reaching this place, and this is completely out of control situation, and the central forces who are being deployed in the periphery foothills areas, taking care of the Kuki armed groups from doing any sort of aggression, is now being completely vulnerable, and they are ignorant. They couldn't take care of these security situations, and we feel that considering the kind of insecurities that the people of the state is facing now, the Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity has declared an indefinite public emergency in the state of Manipur right now, with effect from the moment itself.
To the benefit of my viewers, there's a difference between a rocket and a missile. A rocket RPG attacks are limited in nature. But missile attack means that something can fly for more than 3 to 7 kilometers. It is a technology shift that we are witnessing here. And let me put this on record, there is a difference. A rocket being fired is like a Hamas firing rocket. But a missile being fired is something different. It requires a propulsion agent. It requires a guidance agent. And for Manipur to close all its schools tomorrow is a big issue. It's a big deal that has happened. After drones, missile has been fired from hill area. It's not a joke. It's really not a joke. Schools are being closed. Let me again tell you, the schools will be closed in Manipur tomorrow. We will do a special show on this. We will track this story. But for missiles to be fired from hill area, look at this missile. Look at this missile. Look at the size of this missile. An RPG rocket is 1/3 the size of it. A gun-propelled rocket is 1/20th the size of it. Brijesh, इसकी length कितनी होगी? 7 मीटर? 6 feet? 7 feet?
Approximately 6 to 7 feet.
6 to 7 feet.
And it's travelled across 6 to 7 kilometers.
And if
so
it
makes
has
it very,
travelled
very
across
deadly.
6 to 7 kilometers, this is unbelievable. And it has fins also. I mean to say, this missile attack has to be taken very seriously. And this is coming from the hill areas. This is making people so vulnerable. This is making people so vulnerable. Something drastically needs to be done.
This is what you call a real escalation of warfare.
This is real escalation of warfare that has taken place. This is real escalation of warfare that has taken place. I mean to say, it is making Valley very, very vulnerable.
Absolutely.
From hill areas, now all you need to do is put drones, put rockets. It means that there are foreign militants. There is a technology which is being worked out there. And Valley is being attacked from the hill areas. Brijesh, if this continues, I don't know what will happen.
See, I think, the security forces will have to reimagine the war which they are fighting. They have to completely reimagine, and I think the crackdown has to come. It's been 15 months and, the crackdown is nowhere to be seen. I mean, the kind of weaponry which is being, recovered and all leaves a lot to be desired. I think, if there's no crackdown, there's no instilling of fear in the mind of the people that, who are carrying out, or terrorists or militants, who are carrying out these kind of attack, there's not much is going to be solved, because the passions are running very high, and until unless a crackdown is there, which we are not witnessing for a very long time, I don't see much happening.
I don't know what sort of a crackdown is there. Schools will be closed due to law and order issue. This is a big issue that has happened in Manipur. It's not a small issue. A missile has been fired. Schools are being closed. It's something which really needs to be addressed by the government of the day. It's not a small thing. It's not a small thing when I'm saying this. And for one simple reason, missile being fired in Manipur is a big issue. It's a big issue. After drones, missile is being fired. I don't know. I don't know anything bigger than this can happen, because if you fire a missile, the game of the war has changed. And the game of the war after drone is that people can actually attack Valley from far-flung areas. You just need to do this 3 kilometers. It is unbelievable. Brijesh, this is unbelievable that this has happened, that more than 6 feet of, you can call it a projectile, you can call it a long-range rocket, but this has changed the game in Manipur. Drones being used to drop bombs on people, missiles being fired, hills have to
drones
be...
are easy. The government has also announced to deploy anti-drone guns and all. Drone is easy to counter, but countering missiles and countering rocket is going to be very, very difficult.
But at the end of the day, I would say this has to be taken very seriously by the government. A missile being fired from the area is something unpardonable. This has to be taken up by the government. There has to be a control. The hill needs to be taken control of, because this is real escalation. This is real escalation, making Valley very, very vulnerable.
Fast.
My God, isn't she your daughter?
Yes.
She's playing football. This is boys' game. Make her study. If she doesn't get a good job, she will get a good match. Will you win the world by playing football?